expect a series of catastrophes would bring praise to your lips, but it happens. And that's exactly what happened in my life. I think of Romans 8:28. All things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. I'm reading the book of John this morning, and I read about when Mary and Martha's brother Lazarus was so sick. Martha and Mary reached out to Jesus. They sent word to him and telling him the one that he loved was sick. I imagine that they did this because they were hoping for a miracle. The Bible says when he heard this, Jesus said, "This sickness won't end in death. No, it's for God's glory so that God's Son may be glorified through it." So you know what happened next? Jesus didn't make it in time and Lazarus died. But that is not the end of the story. 4 days later, when Jesus finally got to Lazarus, there were all kinds of people there comforting Mary and Martha in their grieving. Mary and Martha heard that Jesus had arrived, so Martha went out to meet him. The words she spoke really demonstrated her faith. She said, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died, but I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask." Mary and Martha were crying, and even Jesus wept. And then the miracle happened. Even though Lazarus had been in the tomb for 4 days, Jesus called him out, and Lazarus awoke from death and came out of the grave. The Bible says God's power is made perfect in our weakness, and this story is an example of God's power and their weakness. Lazarus was so sick, and there was nothing anybody could do about it. His illness resulted in death. But God. When the odds seem overwhelmingly against us, we can know there's a God in heaven who is for us. And if he is for us, who can be against us? If you're going through difficult times, know that God is with you. If he has called you to it, he will get you through it. That's a promise you can count on.